Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into, well, a true cinematic spectacle. I mean, picture this, a film that just grabbed global audiences, got this incredible 20-minute standing ovation at Cannes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and really carved out its place as a landmark in modern cinema. It's just a feast for the eyes, totally an emotional roller coaster, and, a masterclass in storytelling.
Absolutely.
So our mission today is to take a deep dive into Zhang Yimou's visually stunning 2004 wuxia epic House of Flying Daggers.
A modern classic.
Totally.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack its, intricate narrative, its breathtaking visual artistry, its cultural footprint, and really explore why it became such a global sensation that people still talk about today.
Right.
And by the end of this, you'll hopefully get a shortcut to understanding not just the plot, but the deeper layers, the challenges of making it, and its lasting impact, hopefully leaving you well-informed and maybe wanting to watch it again.
More for the first time.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get into it.
Let's do it. So, House of Flying Daggers. It's a 2004 wuxia film. And for anyone maybe not super familiar, the wuxia genre is all about martial arts and romantic adventures, usually set in pre-modern China.
Okay.
This one specifically takes us to AD 859, a really turbulent time in the Tang Dynasty.
Right, the Tang Dynasty. And what a time that was. It spanned, AD 618 to 907, often called a golden age?
It is, yeah, for its advances in, economy, culture, military.
But the film, set in 859, paints a pretty different picture, doesn't it? How much of that historical reality do they intentionally use?
Well, it's quite clever, actually. Because while the Tang Dynasty did have its peak, its golden age, by 859 it was genuinely marked by widespread corruption, social unrest.
Oh, okay.
A lot of it stemming from the emperor and, frankly, corrupt officials. So the film uses this backdrop, this internal decay, to really ramp up the stakes for the Flying Daggers rebellion. It mirrors the real historical discontent that led to, major uprisings back then. It just sets the scene perfectly for this group fighting oppression and helping the poor.
That sets the stage perfectly for the main conflict, then. The story follows Captain Jin. He's a government officer.
Right.
And he's tasked with infiltrating this rebel group, the Flying Daggers.
Yeah.
And Jin's specific mission, get this, is to rescue Mei. She's this beautiful blind dancer, supposedly the daughter of the Flying Daggers' leader.
Right. The thinking being she'll lead them straight to the rebels' hideout.
Exactly.
And this is where, it shifts. It goes from just spy stuff to something way more intricate, weaving in all this human emotion with the high-stakes duty.
Okay, so Jin's on this mission, but his professional loyalty gets complicated fast.
Very fast.
He develops deep feelings for Mei. And then Mei herself, well, she's caught.
Totally caught.
Between her growing affection for Jin and her duty towards Captain Leo, her protector, who, as we find out pretty quick, has his own strong feelings for her.
It's this intense love triangle. But it's not just romance, like you said. It's sort of a microcosm for the bigger themes, loyalty, betrayal, tearing apart the whole dynasty.
Yeah.
It just drives the whole story into all these emotional showdowns.
It really does. It's a classic setup, right? Conflicting desires, conflicting duties.
And it embodies those qualities
Yeah.
of the Shio warriors beautifully. Jin, Mei, Leo, despite their different loyalties, they each represent ideals like loyalty, altruism, courage.
Right.
But those ideals get seriously tested as they navigate their own messy relationships while society's kind of crumbling around them. The film really powerfully shows how even in a supposed golden age, personal betrayals and corruption can just lead to, well, devastation.
And it builds to this really tragic climax. It's not just dramatic. It feels like it sort of subverts the usual wuxia heroics, doesn't it?
It does. It leaves you thinking about how even these grand ideals can get swallowed up by very human desires.
Yeah. And the symbolism helps sell that, too, like the snow-covered landscape at the end.
Oh, absolutely. It visually represents both an end, a tragic end, but maybe also a new beginning, or at least a blank slate for the characters caught up in it all.
Beyond just the powerful story, the film got huge acclaim for its visuals, right? Its artistry.
Immense acclaim. It is undeniably a feast for the eyes.
It truly is. So Zhao Xiaoding's cinematography, what made it so innovative? You mentioned the Echo game earlier. Did scenes like that really show why it got the Oscar nod?
Absolutely. The Echo game, yeah, that sequence is such a perfect example. The camera work isn't just recording what's happening. It's fluid. It sort of dances with the action. It mirrors every little move, every sound, pulling you right into May's world, her perception. But it's more than just technical skill.
Okay.
A really key thing is how the visuals go beyond just being pretty. They strategically use these natural landscapes and these really strong color contrasts.
Like the white snow, the red autumn leaves.
Exactly. The green forests.
Yeah.
It creates this incredibly dramatic effect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just stunning to look at, it's super clever in how it underscores that theme of appearance versus reality.
Right, which is so central to the whole film with all the deception and hidden identities
Precisely.
and the costumes. Amy Wada's work is just as incredible. Those details really show the Tang Dynasty's opulence, especially with the courtesans in the entertainment house.
Oh, yeah.
And Mi's costumes, too, they kind of blend tradition with this amazing detail reflecting her dual nature. Delicate dancer, deadly fighter.
Perfectly put. And you might actually be surprised where a lot of this visual magic was captured.
Oh, not all in China.
Not all, no. Predominantly, it was shot over about 70 days, back in September to October 2003 in Ukraine.
Ukraine, wow.
Yeah, the Carpathian Mountains, specifically the Hutsul Region National Park. Really picturesque landscapes. A lot of the scenes use those snow-covered settings and the birch forests there.
So only the bamboo forest scenes were China.
That's right. The iconic bamboo sequences, those were filmed in China. They apparently even had challenges with snow arriving earlier than expected.
Ah, of course.
Which led to some script changes. But Zhang Yimou actually said he was really satisfied with how it turned out.
You know, it's funny how sometimes those unplanned challenges, like the weather, can lead to unexpected creative wins.
Definitely.
It's like the landscape itself became another character, adding to that whole evocative feel.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of bringing complexity, the cast really delivers. Zhang Zi as Mei,
Yeah.
people say it's one of her absolute best performances.
It really is stunning. Her ability to shift between that acrobatic combat and these really delicate romantic moments, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's more than just cool moves. It feels like a physical representation of the film's core idea that power and vulnerability can exist side by side, blurring that appearance versus reality line.
And Takeshi Kaneshiro as Jin, he provides this great contrast, doesn't he? His character's described as kind of playful, maybe emotionally reckless.
Yeah, adds a bit of charm, spontaneity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially against May's more guarded, secretive nature. Their chemistry, and Andy Lau's, too, just really ramps up the emotional stakes, drives those conflicts.
And Andy Lau as Leo, also compelling. Watching him go from this determined authority figure to someone just consumed by obsession.
Yeah, the emotional turmoil is palpable.
It adds that darker, tragic layer to the story.
Right.
Really shows the difference between, selfish lust and selfless love, maybe.
That's a good way to put it. And you can't forget Song Dandan as the Madam of the Peony Palace.
Oh, absolutely. Adds to that vibrant world.
Yeah. It's clear the whole cast just clicked. Their synergy really enhances the film's power.
Definitely. And this film, it isn't just a standalone thing, is it? It's tied into the fifth generation of Chinese filmmakers, Zhang Yimou being a major figure there.
A very prominent figure, yes. They largely emerged from the shadow or the influences of the Cultural Revolution.
So how did that background shape their filmmaking? What made them different?
Well, if you look at the broader picture of Chinese cinema, this generation, they really aimed to move beyond that traditional socialist realism you saw in earlier films.
Okay.
They wanted to explore more complex themes, often more psychological themes, dealing with the emotional trauma of the past, but navigating this rapidly changing culture, too.
So different from the scar dramas of the fourth generation.
Yeah, different from those, which often focused very directly on the wounds of the Cultural Revolution. And also different from the sort of more rebellious underground sixth generation that came later.
Right.
The fifth generation, with their focus on psychological depth, complex stories, and often just stunning visuals, they really helped redefine Chinese cinema on the world stage.
And that approach certainly hit home internationally. The film premiered at Cannes, May 2004, got that incredible 20-minute standing ovation we mentioned.
Yeah, quite something.
And then it became the third highest grossing foreign language film in North America that year. Made around, $92.8 million worldwide?
About that, yeah. Roughly $11 million in North America, another $81 million internationally. Huge numbers.
And the critics loved it too, mostly.
Widespread acclaim, yeah. Got an 89 on Metacritic, 87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Critics just raved about the visual artistry, the cinematography, costumes. But interestingly, its success also kicked off this debate about how it portrayed Chinese culture.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, some critics argued it kind of played into maybe exotic stereotypes for Western viewers, while others praised its beauty and its emotional depth.
Ah, that tension.
Exactly. It kind of highlights that ongoing conversation, between cultural representation and what international audiences expect from contemporary Chinese cinema.
It's a real tightrope walk, isn't it? And the film's story, critiquing social orders, focusing on individual happiness, that also feels different from some other big films around that time, like Hero.
Right. Hero, which arguably focused more on sort of societal ideals, maybe sacrificing the individual for the greater good. Daggers feels more focused on personal desires and their consequences.
Yeah. And its success definitely highlights how Chinese cinema was evolving, becoming more of a global soft power.
Undeniably.
Yeah.
But it's also worth remembering the reception within China was a bit more mixed sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, some audiences apparently felt a bit fatigued by Zhang's very stylized approach by then. It suggests this kind of complex relationship between, national identity and these big global cinematic narratives.
That's fascinating. A huge hit globally, but sparking different conversations back home.
Exactly. A powerful example of that dynamic.
So, for a film that looks so incredible on the big screen, its journey to our TVs and home media has been, well, less impressive.
You've hit on a really key point there, unfortunately. The DVD versions, I mean, they were okay for the time, but often described as kind of lackluster. Yeah,
Songs.
overly soft, digitally processed, just didn't do justice to that amazing cinematography we talked about.
And the Blu-rays weren't much better.
Sadly, no. All the global Blu-ray editions have been noted as looking pretty much like poor upscales from standard DVDs.
Oh, that's a real shame.
It is a huge disappointment for fans wanting that high-def experience. Even streaming, like on Hulu, apparently has issues with color depth and clarity sometimes.
Ugh. So, given all that, it's no surprise that fans of Zhang Yimou's visual style are all kind of hoping for one thing.
A proper 4K remaster.
Yes, it
Yeah.
feels essential, right, to finally capture all those artistic nuances, the elaborate visuals, the way they were meant to be seen.
It would be a true visual redemption. The film deserves it.
Absolutely. Well, we've just deep dived into House of Flying Daggers, a film that really did push boundaries. Visual splendor, complex emotions, that tricky cultural dialogue.
A powerful exploration of love, loyalty, betrayal, all set against that turbulent historical backdrop from a master filmmaker of that fifth generation.
So, thinking about its unique blend, the beauty, the action, the tragedy, what does House of Flying Daggers maybe suggest about the universal appeal, but also the challenges of telling cultural stories globally?
That's a great question to ponder. And what stands out to you listening when a film gets adored for its art, but also debated for its cultural depiction? Is fascinating territory.
It really is. So if you haven't seen House of Flying Daggers, or maybe it's just been a while, perhaps this deep dive inspires you to seek it out
Definitely worth it.
and maybe join the rest of us in hoping for that 4K remaster.